Okay, so I just got a new box in the mail. This is the Big Up SUP shallow water fin. It's a new fin design, and we're going to go ahead and open it up, take a look at it, and first step of doing any unboxing, of course, is getting rid of the very dirty cat. So off you go. There you go. Some nice paper product packaging. It's a good plastic reduction. Let's go ahead and spread some of this out. So we've got a couple of paper bags here. It's good to see that they're reducing some of that plastic use. Okay. A small bag. Looks like we've got a tool here for our fin screws and a couple of cork pads. And I was just reading about these cork pads, and we'll explain that in just a minute. Some stickers, okay. A little thank you card, okay. And that's it for that bag. Now there's a second bag here. I'm about to be attacked by the cat. Okay, oh, all right, we've got a koozie. That's pretty cool. What else? Something else, a little freebie. Not quite sure what that is. We'll get to that in a minute. I should mention that I did order this as part of the Kickstarter that Big Up SUP was doing. So these just started shipping out. Today is January 5th. So I think this is probably one of the first round orders. And it looks like we're going to be helped by the cat today, all day. So thank you very much. This is Aaron Purr. All right, and here's the fin. So let's see, this is the T16. All right. And, you know, one of the big reasons that I was interested in this fin is because I do paddle a lot of shallow rivers, sandy bottoms around here. And so they claim a draft height, or draft depth, I should say, of about just under 3 inches. So we'll measure that here in a minute. Now, quite sure that's everything that's in this box. And we'll see if we can't get the cat to leave us alone for a few minutes. Here, go play with this. So as I mentioned, I was really interested in this for its shallow drafting ability. And leaving the fin here on the table, let's do a quick measure. We can see it is just under 3 inches here, so that's exactly 2 3/4 inches from the top here to the tabletop here. Now they do have a second size. This is the T16, which I'm assuming is a 16-inch length. So let's check that real quick. Yep, and that would be 16 inches. It's made of aluminum. It is solid aluminum. They call it marine grade. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I would just assume it's the same thing as like a 6061 or something, but we'll do some research and figure that out. And this is for a US fin box, but they do have adapters for slide-in inflatable boxes. So if you have an NRS or a boat board, you can get the adapter for those to work. All right, so they do include 2 fin screws and bolts and the fin tool, and that's because you will need both screws to hold this fin in place. There are these little cork triangles. Now these cork triangles are to go on your fin to account for any concavity in your board. So as the boards are shaped with a lot of rocker, you might find that this panel here doesn't fit perfectly against your board, so you can use these cork shims, sticking them on here where they're needed in order to give better contact surface. Okay, so let's look at the dimensions of this. We've got 16 inches. It is 2 3/4 inches deep. And the total width here is about 6 1/4. All right. Now, one of the other things here is that Big Up SUP claims this fin has a surface area of 87 square inches. And that's big. That's roughly the equivalent of a paddle. A medium to small paddle. So that's quite a bit of surface area, and really looking at it, you know, I can see where they're getting that from. I believe what they're doing is they're measuring both the outside and the inside of each of the 2 fins here, and you know, I don't blame them for that, but we'll do a comparison with some other fins that we've got here as well. Okay, so we've got the old kitchen scale here. Let's make sure we're set into pounds and ounces. Here we go. Let's go ahead and weigh this up. And this is 19.1 ounces. For all of those out there in the rest of the world, that's 542 grams. For reference, I brought a couple other fins with me. This is my current shallowest fin. This is about a 3-inch draft. Let's double check this here. This is right at 3 inches. Okay. This is a soft, flexible fin. It's been out in the garage, so it's a little cold, so it's not that flexible right now. Next is another soft, flexible fin. This is a 5-inch fin. Let's go ahead and double check that while we're here. Yep, it's actually 4.5, not 5. Okay. And again, with weight, we're looking at 5 ounces even, which would be 143 grams. The Hydrus Race Keel, so this is a composite fin, and it has a draft. It's a little hard to measure because of the shape, but it's roughly a 6.5-inch draft if you go all the way out to the lowest part here. Next, I've got a Composite Touring Fin. All right, so this is a 9-inch draft, 9.5, almost 10-inch, 9 3/4 roughly. All right, and it's 8.4 ounces, which gives us 239 grams. And lastly, we've got a race fin. So this is the NSP 24. My guess is 24 is 24 centimeters. And it is 203 grams, which gives us 7.2 ounces. All right. I will say the finish looks really nice. It is anodized. It looks like it's laser etched here with the logo. We'll see how well it holds up. Although it is January, it's going to be 55 degrees this weekend, so I'm going to go paddle, and I will put this through its paces. And then next weekend, I'll be at the pool, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of testing with these different fins and kind of see how they all compare for some more consistent tracking experiments. So there we go. There is the Big Up SUP shallow water fin. So we'll see how it does, and I'm hoping for good things. I'm really hoping that I love this fin because there's just a lot of parts to it. And so to take it on and off frequently would be a bit of a bummer. So again, here's everything that comes in the kit. Here's the fin, and what will happen is, just like with any other fin, you'll put the nuts into the recess of the fin box, and then you're going to put the fin on and screw the bolts into the nuts. Now with this fin, there's also a couple of washers, and those are going to go on this surface of the fin as well. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is check. So if I place my fin, I don't want my fin, I know you probably can't see that on the camera right there, but if I put my fin all the way back, then it's going to be pretty close to the very end of the board, so I'm probably not going to do that. So I think what I might do, I might just keep it up here at the front, and I'll tell you why I want it one side or the other here in just a minute. But the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get the nuts. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to take my cork pieces here, place my fin about where I want it, the airplanes and everything. So you can see I'm getting a little bit of rocking here. So I'm going to put a couple of cork pieces. I'm actually going to do it on the back here, trying to keep it flush in the front. And I'm just going to put one on each side. Maybe before I even do that, let's just see if I set these in here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this back over. And take the adhesive off of this. Set this along here. Now, first thing I'm seeing is that this is a little bit oversized. I'm not sure if maybe I'm supposed to place it a different way. When I watched the install video, it actually didn't mention these at all. And they're kind of flaking off pretty easily too, so hopefully they stay together. Yeah, I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Keep it looking good. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and get to the nuts and bolts of it. Okay. So if you aren't doing this already, if you pre-thread these first, make sure that everything's good. Sometimes there's little burrs on there from the manufacturing process. And you slide it in. Oh. And then don't drop your screw. Instead of trying to, that's what I mean by not wanting to have to do this frequently. Make sure that one's good. Yep. Okay, now go ahead and just slide this one up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is place the washer on the bolts. Again, trying to lose everything. This board is very curved and it's kind of sloping down on my sawhorses here, so. Okay, place this, and then we're going to just work on getting, there we go, that's pretty easy. Now that was actually really nice because of the long slits in here, you can actually see where your bolt is going, as opposed to on a standard fin, you just have a small hole you're working through and you can't see anything else. So the thing you notice is there's a lot of play here, and you want this fin to be straight on the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it as best I can. But like I said, you know, I wanted to slide this fin up a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way to the front. I feel like that would be excessive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my bolt all the way to the front and then bring this pad in, bring the fin into the bolt. Get it mostly tightened down. Okay. Alright, still enough that it can wiggle. Get this next one mostly tightened down, and I'm going to go ahead and slide this one actually to the back of the fin. So now this is where it would be really awesome if, for the next design, big Up SUP, if you're listening, a couple things. One, on the bottom side of the fin, put a little tab. Give us a spacer tab, an alignment tab. Okay. All right. So there's not a ton of wiggle room in here, but I am really trying to make sure it's centered. And then the next thing I'm going to do, make sure the back is centered here. Go to each extreme, find the halfway point. I'm going to just eyeball it from here, stepping away for a second. It looks pretty good. Maybe a slight adjustment. And I think that's going to be something that, you know, the exact angle here might be a little tricky to get perfect. The exact centering, I think that's going to be the biggest downfall of this fin. It's just getting it on your board. Yeah, okay, we're going to go with that. Give it a nice tighten here. Okay, make sure it's not going to go anywhere. All right, so the installation, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now, these are tool required bolts. There are toolless bolts out there. It would be my assumption that the nuts and bolts are standard for fins, so you could swap them for toolless bolts as long as they're long enough. But for now, we'll just kind of go with this. There you go.